Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Joining me is Sri Bala Gowthaman ji, and we are going to talk about something that I had touched in a monologue when a church got burnt down in France. What really piqued both of our interests was how quickly it burnt down. Then we started looking around and we found that something similar happened in India also. To kind of connect the dots here and where things are headed, let's talk to Sri Bala Gowthaman ji. Bala Gowthaman sir, namaskar.
Namaskar.
Sir, there were two train incidents in Kerala where somebody tried to set fire to the entire bogie. Luckily, in both cases, not much damage was done. In one, I think two people suffered burn injuries also. However, what is not clear to people is, it didn't look like petrol or kerosene or any of those things. It looked like something that a fire accelerant. If you go back and look at that video of mine, you will see how quickly the church burns down. It's just amazing. It's like 15 seconds, 20 seconds, the whole thing is just done. So, sir, let's start because these things started here.
Sir, this rapid burning has got a very long history. I think it is around 15, 16, 17. 3 bogies of a train in Odisha caught fire. That is during the time of Puri Jagannath Yatra. So a person from Tamil Nadu was arrested. He is a native of Melapalayam. He came to Chennai for some job. He was converted to Islam. And then he was sent to Jammu and Kashmir, and then he came back. He photographed Parani and Tirupati and other things, and he was caught. He was arrested for torching those trains. So I raised the same question on then, how it is possible to gut down a bogie of a train within this short span. There are no answers. Even I have written to the police also on this. I haven't got any answers. Then one person, he lettered out his school for an RSS camp in Arandangi. Arandangi is in southeast Tamil Nadu. That is in Pudukkottai district adjoining Ramanathapuram. So he let out his school for an RSS camp and the school got into fire, and the police report said it is just electric short circuit. So when I visited the spot, I can see how the steel beams, they have disfigured. And this amount of heat,
yes,
generally
steel is not going to melt so easily.
It is not going to come out of an electric short circuit.
Yes.
Then the sample was tested in a private lab, and we come to know that some foreign elements are present in that sample, in the charred remains of what has been burnt. Then Chennai silks caught fire in Chennai. So since I have no access to that sample, I requested the police to do a test on that. Whether they have done it or not, I have no idea. But the thing is, there is no reply from the police side. And one BJP leader, Ashwathaman's office, there was some incident.
Yes.
And
petrol bomb was thrown, right?
No, it's not a petrol bomb. A wire got burned.
Okay.
So the police said, somebody said it is a short circuit.
Of course.
But when we saw that, we find that the socket in the plug, that is intact. But the fire happens only in the middle of the wire.
Oh, there is no way that is possible.
That is possible. Then when we raised this issue, police sent it for examining, that is to the fire department, and fire department confirmed that there is some foreign material added to it. So they accepted that there is a sabotage there. And then another wood, that is what you can say, a sawmill was gutted in Puliyangudi because that person is the local president of Viswa Hindu Parishad.
Which year is this?
This happened in around about 2020 or so.
Okay. So viewers, we are going way back. The 2 trains catching fire in Kerala is just a year old. See, what Bala Gowthaman ji is saying is there is a pattern here that starts from 2015. 15, 16, 17, 1, and now we're talking about 2020. So please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I mean 15, 16, 17, I don't know which year. That's
That's
only
okay.
one incident. That is
Yeah.
on that period.
Yeah.
And then in Puliyangudi, when I went to the spot, and there are video footages, and of the person who is putting the fire in. So actually he lighted first. It has not caught that fire.
It didn't catch fire. Okay.
Then what he did is again he is igniting and he is pouring something. Then immediately the entire sawmill gutted. Again the steel frames disfigured like anything, and even with the can of petrol, a sawmill is not supposed to burn like that.
Right.
Because the entire area, I mean it is not less than 30-40 feet. It totally got gutted. And despite having the video footages of those two guys who are doing it, not even a single person is arrested till now.
Well, sir, this seems very familiar. On 2nd July, the Indian consulate in San Francisco, some miscreants have put an accelerant and they set fire to the facade of the building. 3 people are supposed to, we thought, by looking at the video, they presented it. So it's not like we got the video, they presented the video to claim that they have set the consulate on fire. We figured at least there were 3 people. And about 4 weeks later, I got news that maybe one was apprehended. But then a few days later, the information is not completely confirmed. You have San Francisco Police Department sitting on their real white bottoms. And you, I don't know what kind of policing you are doing, SFPD. Now, for $900, you won't even register a crime. If somebody comes into a store and steals $900 worth of stuff, you won't even register a crime. Anyway, that's a different matter, but I see the patterns and I'm really disturbed because in the case of the San Francisco consulate, it is a different community. But the sourcing, that is where you have to look at. Who is sourcing all these things? Sir, go ahead, sir.
Okay. So again, I took the samples and tested it in the lab. Then again, we find a very huge amount of magnesium. Magnesium has got a better latent heat, and,
yes,
and we all know that. So it was there. Then again, when PFI's office were raided by the government, as soon as it was raided, 26 locations in Tamil Nadu these locations were either the houses of people of Hindu organizations or their offices. Petrol bombs and other things were thrown. So the government records it as a packet of diesel, petrol bomb. This is what is there in the government record. I collected samples from Pollachi, which is in western part of Tamil Nadu, and then from Madurai, which is central. And the earlier one, Puliyangudi, what I told you, is from the southern part. Arandangi is in southeastern part. I'm just to make clear the geography of Tamil Nadu. So I got these 2 things and tested in this Oxford lab. Again, I find magnesium and other stuffs which are there in the charred remains of the sample. So this pattern of cocktailing some other fuel,
yes,
so that increases the latent heat,
yes,
and in some places that even if some nitrates or something is added, that you will get a blasting effect also.
Yeah. What Gowthamanji is saying, increase of latent heat or latent heat. Latency in this case is the potential to create fire or combust. And when you have a magnesium like compound on top of that, it gives it an accelerant. It just becomes much faster, and if the thing that is targeting is dry, it burns down much faster. So there is somebody who wants to not only set fire but wants to create the maximum
inflict to maximum possible damage.
Exactly.
And number 2, what we need to understand, these materials are not easily available materials. That is something that we need to understand.
Yes, yes.
And again, cocktailing this with petrol is not that easy. You need to have a bit of training in this.
Yes.
Now you can see, it is there in France. You have seen that in Odisha into 15, 16, 17. In Kerala's Kannur, you have got 2 of these things.
Yeah.
And again you have in southern Tamil Nadu, in Puliyangudi, west in Pollachi, central in Madurai, Arandangi in east and in Chennai in north. So everywhere the similar pattern is being followed.
Right.
Then what we need to understand, there is an existence of specialized terror training modules in these places.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Number 1. Number 2, how these experts are created. So it is a common module, it's a common manual, we can say it's a training manual.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
And recently in some newspapers I read, in Europe and other places, the ISIS has come up with a toolkit how to carry out train accidents, how to create train accidents, how to damage the signaling system. And these manuals, they are there. I mean, I have seen in some newspapers. When the Odisha train incident to happen,
Yes.
there is one dissent note of the entire records that the derailment of the bogie happened just before the signal.
Yes.
I am not sure whether the CBI has gone into that.
Well, we actually followed it up quite a bit, Gowthamanji, but the final report is not out yet, and they have arrested a few people. Some people are acted upon. I think we still need to get the real
Because
picture.
why I am saying this is, recently the police have arrested a person who is involved in the Kannur train fire tragedy. With him, they have recovered up a bottle of a chemical, a petrol-like substance. This is what NIA has announced. So what it is? What is the chemical component of that particular thing? The NIA has not come out of it, but may not come out of it because charge sheet is not being made.
Right.
So legally there is a problem. Now, this person has travelled to Odisha before this train accident. This is also recorded.
This is new.
Yeah, this they have recorded in the statement of the accused.
Wow.
And now, the same Odisha, you got a train accident. This is what I said, into 15, 16, 17 areas, some bogies were gutted. That happened in Odisha. This train, Coromandel train express, this problem happened in Odisha. In the same period, some people in Tamil Nadu, near Tiruchi Lalgudi, they put some lorry tires when the train is coming.
Yes.
This
try and
happened
derail
here.
it. Yeah.
So when you connect all these dots and this type of cocktailing chemicals, then what we need, then the ISIS toolkit on Europe, and a similar type of toolkit was also identified in India. The police has not even, they have not reported it either. They have reported it, but they have not put it in the newspaper. But I come to know from some sources that they are in possession of a particular toolkit which was circulated among some fanatic Muslim organizations, and they are in possession of it. So by connecting all these dots, what I understand is now there is a presence of a training people on chemical jihad. This is what I mean. This is maybe a new word that I am using.
Correct.
But the thing is that we need to understand, if it happened in Odisha, if it happened in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and France, and a similar pattern if it is happening, then you need to categorize it as chemical jihad. And the government has to declare it.
Yes, but I thought NIA did do something of that nature, that a certain event was of a jihadi nature.
Yeah, this happened after Ramalingam's murder.
Yes, where his hand was cut. And
Ramalingam's murder, they declared that it is a cruel jihadi killing.
Yes.
This is for the first time the NIA has used it.
Has said that,
For that matter, this is the first time a government is using this word, a jihadi murder. So what is the jihadi pattern of murder? This is something that we need to understand. It is based on the 8th chapter and 12th verse of the Quran, where said that you have to cut their nape and smite their fingers and toes. And this is in the 8th chapter, 12th surah of the Quran. This murder, in the post-mortem report, you can see the injury in the nape as well as in the finger. The similar pattern was there in murders of Shashi Kumar, who was again murdered by the Popular Front of India. Before that, six people belonging to Hindu organizations were murdered from 2012 to 2014. We have the same set of injuries. And before PFI is an amalgamation of Muslim organizations.
Simi and other things.
No, from Simi was banned. From Simi, many organizations they branched off. Tamil Nadu, it is Manidanidhi Pasarai, and PDP there in Kerala, Karnataka Forum for Dignity in Karnataka. There are likewise many organizations. These organizations, they again get amalgamated to form Popular Front of India. So when SIMI was banned, they branched out. Then when UPA came up, they all again started the organization with a new label, that is Popular Front of India. So the predecessor to Popular Front of India, again an offshoot of SIMI, is Manidanidhi Pasarai. This Manidanidhi Pasarai murdered 3 people, to my knowledge. That is one Varadarajan and R. Muhammad in Uttamapalayam in Thene district, and one Murugesan in Coimbatore. In these post-mortem reports, I am seeing the same injury. These murders, they took place in 2000-2001. Ramalingam, latest 2021.
Yeah.
So for the past 20 years, the same pattern of murder is happening. And it is happening according to the verses of the Quran.
Yeah.
So we are demanding the government that you need to say that since the pattern of murder is the same, this cannot be an impulsive murder.
It's not.
So this murder has got something more to that. So there is existing a system where you are trained to carry out murder in a particular way. Then I got post-mortem reports of people who are murdered by Popular Front of India in Karnataka, where I am finding the same set of injuries. Then I got post-mortem reports from Kerala, I find the same set of injuries. I request many of our friends in Bengal, in Maharashtra, where people killed by these Islamic goons, just try to get the post-mortem reports. If you can't do this, send it to us. We will analyze and let you know, because this is a fact that we need to tell the people.
Right.
Look, one Muslim organization or a particular group is not terrorist.
Right.
This terror is created. This indoctrination is successfully happening because of these type of madrasa teachings.
Yes. Yes.
So unless or otherwise you are not going to address this issue, you ban PFI, 100,000 other PFIs will
are
come.
going to take birth. Exactly. We predicted that. It's a full long-term action that needs to be taken
So
place.
the problem lies here in this type of teachings, and this is something that we need to understand. This is what we are asking the government to declare from 2016. We have run from pillar to post in Delhi and other places to declare this, and finally in 2023 the government has declared.
Yes.
So what we now require, we now request the government, you have to do one thing. Study the post-mortem reports
Yes.
of all the people who have died.
Yeah.
Wherever you are finding this type of injuries,
Yeah.
you list this murder under a separate head called jihadi terror.
Right.
Like you have a Maoist terror, you have a certain thing. Likewise, you have to classify jihadi terror.
Right. Right.
And then the victims of this terror, they needs to be compensated like what you are compensating in Kashmir and Naxal belt. So if a person dies out of terror incident or so, the compensation package, a solatium and a job to a person from the perfect kith and kin of the family. And this is generally in terror affected areas the government used to give. And this is nothing but terror.
Correct.
So the government has to do this. Because if an impulsive riot or something else, then the society has got something to work with.
Right.
But if it is a centralized training, backed by a madrasa and by international forces, it is just like a disaster where a local community cannot cope up with.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
And this is in fact, this is a welcome move by the NIA to announce that it is according to the jihadi pattern.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, thank you very much, Bala Gowthaman ji, and viewers, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. We'll continue to bring you this kind of information. See, people are not connecting the dots. I'm sure the intelligence agencies are, but you, the common man, we are, 1/6 of India lives in its cities. We think everything is fine. But every instance that Sri Bala Gowthaman ji has related is all happening in rural areas. And if I start taking a look at some other things like business jihad, your head will start spinning. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that today. We'll talk about it another day. Bala Gowthaman ji, thank you so much for taking time out. Namaskar.
Namaste.